Our message to those who continue to enable the Russian regime through their criminal conduct is this. It does not matter how far you sail your yacht. It does not matter how well you conceal your assets. It does not matter how cleverly you write your malware or hide your online activity. The Justice Department will use every available tool to find you, disrupt your plots, and hold you accountable.
That was Attorney General Merrick Garland yesterday, a few hours before he tested positive for COVID. And he sent a stark warning to Kremlin elites after the Justice Department unveiled new charges against a Russian oligarch for violating sanctions. With many believing the war in Ukraine has entered a new phase, the New York Times reports that NATO countries are divided on what the group's next steps should be. According to Western officials who spoke with the Times, quote, Central European members like Poland and the Baltic states want a total break with Moscow. But other nations believe that Russia cannot be easily subdued and that the war's outcome is likely to be messy. Those other nations include Turkey, France, and Germany. Another reported point of disagreement is how seriously to take the Kremlin in peace talks with Ukraine. While some believe Russia is looking for an avenue to escape the war, U.S. officials are reportedly skeptical that Moscow is willing to make concessions. Joining us now, Washington correspondent for Bloomberg TV and Radio, Anne-Marie Horton. Anne-Marie, good morning. Thanks for being here. We started the show with this. The U.S. and the West has laid out more sanctions against Russia in the wake of those atrocities that we saw in Bucha. What have you heard? What still might be coming? What impact could they have?
Well, from the United States, John, the strategy is really the same in terms of what they're going after and how they're targeting financial institutions and individuals. They're just really expanding the scope. So they now have full blocking sanctions on Sberbank, which is by far Russia's biggest financial institution, Alfa Bank. But there is an energy carve-out, as there was in the past, on those. They're going after individuals that are very close to individuals in the Kremlin, Sergei Lavrov, his wife, his daughter, as well as a little bit more personal to President Putin, his two adult daughters, Katerina and Maria. And we should really note, Jonathan, this can really get the attention of President Putin. The Kremlin has never even acknowledged these individuals' names. Putin rarely speaks about them and really has gone to great lengths over the course of his reign to try to hide them and protect their lives. So it's a lot of the same. And the last thing also we're waiting for is also we know the proposals from Europe, but we're waiting for them to sign on the dotted line for their fifth package that they're going to be in terms of penalties against Moscow.
So, AMH, you spoke yesterday to a Russian oligarch and provided some insights, not just into how the West is responding to Russia, but how Putin already views the West. Tell us about that.
Yeah, Mikhail Khodorkovsky spent quite a bit of time with me and my colleagues at Bloomberg, and he's in Washington, Jonathan, briefing officials as well. A State Department official told us he spoke to Victoria Nuland last week. He spoke to NSC officials this week, and he really understands Putin's mind. They were enemies. He spent 10 years in prison before he was freed and lived in exile. And what he says, the one mistake the West is making, the U.S. and its allies, is that they're not understanding how Putin perceives this war. And Putin already, from his view, says he is at war with the United States and the West, even though it's on Ukrainian soil. So when the West take this hard line about these NATO borders, he says that's a nuance that really doesn't mean much to Putin. And Putin has said these level of sanctions, sending of weapons to Ukraine, and training of Ukrainian military, all of that for Putin means war with the West.
Anne-Marie, give us 45 seconds on right now the state of the Russian economy and how it's been able to withstand sanctions to this point.
So the one interesting thing is that the ruble, John, has really rebounded to the levels pre-going into the invasion, right? So you are seeing a little bit of that. And for Putin, that is a major domestic win. We heard from Secretary Blinken over the weekend saying it's manipulated. So there are capital controls in place to help prop up the ruble. But the one issue we need to focus on, and this is going to come in play for Europe, is that, and this is helping the ruble, is that Russia continues to sell oil and gas, and that will make up $321 billion this year. That is going to be stocking his coffers, and that is how he's going to be able to fund this war.
All right. We appreciate that insight. Bloomberg's Anne-Marie Horton, thank you, as always, for being here. And up next...